Okay, I'm clicking got it. Okay, so we'll start with our commencing form, and this is the one that we always start with, and that's where we, this is one where our feet are planted on the ground, and we have our hands palms down on our lap. And so we're gonna sit with a straight spine, and we're gonna breathe in as we slowly bring our arms up in front of us. We're gonna straighten our elbows, and our wrists are gonna lead the way up, fingers hanging down, and we bring them up to about what would be 2 o'clock. And then we slowly change the orientation so our fingertips are the last thing coming down. So we bring our hands back down to our lap. And we do this at about the pace of our breath. So my hands are coming up slowly, slowly. I'm at about 2 o'clock now. Switch hand position and sweep downward, slowly, slowly down to my lap. So we'll do this a few more times. So I'm back down to my lap. I'm going to raise them up. So wrists are coming up. I'm at about 2 o'clock. Switch my hands so my palms are facing in front. Coming down, and we'll do one more of these. So hands are coming up. Wrists first, and then switching. And then coming back down to my lap. So, okay, from here we'll do broadening one's chest. So our hands are still on our lap. Cats are being noisy, I'm sorry. And so we're gonna straighten our hands as they come up. So bring them up again, kind of wrist first, until we come out to our side. And we're gonna open up to 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock, and our palms are gonna be up. They're gonna be shoulder height at 3 and 9 o'clock. And then about the time they get into that position, we start slowly putting them back down toward our lap. They're coming back toward our laps at about the speed of our breath. So I'm back down to my lap now. So I'm going to start raising them up. Now my hands are kind of turning outward. Now my palms are facing the ceiling at 9 and 3, and then slowly coming back up. Then palms are down, coming back toward my lap. And if anybody has any questions, please stop me. We'll do one more. So our hands are going to start coming up. Then they open outward. Palms up at 3 and 9 o'clock. And then come back up and then back down toward our lap. So here we are at the end of this one. The next one we'll do is dancing with rainbows. And this one is another where we start with our hands in our lap. And in this one, we'll start with our right hand. So our right hand will come up and out to the 3 o'clock position, and the other hand is over our head. So the other arm is like, you start with it straight up, bend the elbow, and then that left hand is kind of close to your ear. And that's where we are. And then we slowly switch, and then the other arm will be at 9 o'clock, and the right hand is close to our ear, kind of surrounding our head. And then we do this at the pace of our breath, like the others we've done. So slowly moving that. The movement into the position is really important. And so now the right hand is extended, and then slowly switch. And now my left hand is extended, palm up like before. I'm gonna have to close these cats in a room. Now switching, we're gonna go back where the right hand is extended. And back to the left side slowly. And there we are. So, okay, we'll put our hands back in our laps. Now, the next thing that we'll do is one called Carry the Moon. And this one is a new one, but it's really enjoyable. And this is kind of this is a twisting motion. So if we're in a small room, we're in the center of it, we're gonna think about the left front corner of the room and the right corner of the room. And in this one, we're gonna have something about the size of an apple or an orange in our hand. And so we start with these cats, I'm sorry, they got rowdy on me right at time to start. So we're gonna start as if we have an apple or orange in our hand, and right in the center. And our hand is kind of cupped as if we don't want it to roll out, but we're not gripping it. So holding that, And then we're gonna turn, if we have our right hand cupped in front of us, we're gonna turn as if we're gonna hold it up. If someone is standing in the corner of the room and we want to show it to them, like, so if we're holding it up toward them in the left corner of the room. So hold it up about, if you can feel it being about as high as your head, just that high, and kind of turn diagonally. So that's like the first movement. And then we sweep it back down to the center, and then we switch hands. So I'm switching to my left hand. Now my left hand is cupped and it's going toward the right corner of the room. And I'm turning my face that way too. So my face is kind of in line with my fingertips. And then we slowly bring it back down, and then we switch again. So we're getting a little bit of a spinal twist here. So back to center, and then back up with the right hand toward the left corner, holding it up, then coming back down in the middle of the lap, and then switching hands. So now the left hand is up to the right corner of the room, and we're facing that way. And this is one where we are breathing in on as we go to one side and breathing out toward the other side. So if I'm holding my right hand up to this corner, coming down, exhale, breathing in on the way up, and exhale coming down. So that's about the speed of it. Did that one make sense? That's a new one. So I'll ask if that felt okay, or if y'all had any questions about that one. Okay. If nobody had any questions there, we'll do scooping from the seat. And that's one that we've done before. So we're gonna sit, this is another hands on the lap, feet planted on the ground. This is one where with a straight spine, we're gonna lean forward and then reach down as if we're going to scoop water either from a bucket or from a creek, however far you're able to bend comfortably. There should be no discomfort. So we scoop, our hands are on top of each other as if we're going to try to hold water, and our hands are cupped. And then we come up, and then almost as if we're going to drink from it, but then we turn our hands. Our hands are kind of at our shoulder level, palms facing in front of us, like we're saying, I surrender. So then from there, we reach down again. We start bending down, bending forward slowly, putting hands together. Hands are cupped, come up, hands separate, come to the shoulders, palms facing the wall in front of us, and our back is straight again. So we start bending again, reaching our arms down. They come down in front of us, they cup, they kind of cross a little bit like we're holding water, coming up as I'm seated upright, and then hands are at the shoulder level, hands are at shoulders, palms facing out. So we'll do this a couple more times. So we're gonna reach forward, bending forward, and I'm breathing in at this point, coming up, and then palms are forward. So we can just break that down, and we do it at the speed of breath, but I'm talking while I'm moving, so I'm taking it a little extra slowly. So I'm scooping again, arms coming up, and then hands at shoulder level. So as I'm talking, I'm just flowing through this, so I'm not stopping. So I'm bending, scooping, coming up, hands separate, palms are forward, close to my shoulders. Okay. And then from here, we'll do some of the positions where we are holding a ball. So if you all, hopefully we've been doing this before, but this is about the size of like a basketball or volleyball, and we act like we're holding our ball. And our left hand is on the bottom, our right hand is on top, just resting on what would be a ball, fingers kind of separated and relaxed. And we're holding this ball, and our bottom hand is palm up, right hand palm down. And we're gonna take this ball and we're gonna point it toward, we're just gonna turn our waist, turn our bodies to where we're gonna go toward the right, and the ball should be lined up with the corner of the room. So if we're in a small room, turn it to that corner. Then we switch positions of our hands, and then we go toward the left. So we're kind of following that elbow, that arm that's on top, and our nose is kind of point in line with our hand. We're pointing our nose at the corner of the room. So then we switch again, and we're turning, and I'll do it kind of in real time. Now I'm all the way to as far as I want to be to the right corner, switch, turning slowly, going toward the left, and now I'm at that corner. Switch, going toward the right, and you can take a deep breath in and then exhale on the way to the other side. It doesn't matter which side because it's very even movements. So now I'm going back toward the right again and switching. And now start going toward the left. So then I'm still holding the ball, and we'll do a different one where we start in the ball. So the single whip, the top hand, we're going to make into kind of a bird's beak. So our thumb and our fingers are going to come together like we're holding something like a penny. And that comes straight in front of us, level at shoulder height. And the other hand, my right hand, is the one that's coming out to the right in the stop, like a stop sign kind of formation. So fingertips pointed up at 3 o'clock on that side, palm facing the wall beside me. And then I've got a bird beak in front. So both are shoulder height, but different hand positions. And then I'm going to come back to my ball, and this top hand is going to be the top of the ball, and the bottom hand is on the bottom. So now the top hand is always going to be the one that goes into the bird's beak. So I'm going to slowly bring that one out in front of me in a bird's beak, and the left hand is now at 9 o'clock, palm facing the wall beside me. And then we come back to our ball with that left hand on top. So we'll move through this again. So I'm going to start with the bird's beak and the hand coming to the side of me. So we'll do that slowly, and then start coming back to our ball, and then slowly make the bird's beak, start moving the hands simultaneously, and then we're extended into that. So we'll do that a couple more times. So slowly coming back, and now we're at our ball, and then the top hand is our left hand. So bird's beak and stop sign hand with our right hand. And when I'm doing this, I'm pointing the hand that is in the stop sign position is where my head is turning. So I turn my head toward those fingers, and we come back to our ball. So the next one we'll do is called Parting the Wild Horse's Mane. And I'm moving through this kind of at the speed it would go, and we've done this a few times. So if anybody wants me to slow down and wants to move through those more, please let me know. I'm just trying to make sure that we get through some different ones, and that you see like the speed that they would normally happen. Because I know the first few times I was doing so much talking, we didn't do as much moving. So from here, in Parting the Wild Horse's Mane, we're in our ball position. Our bottom hand, the one that's palm up, is going to come up beside us. So it is going to, we kind of rotate at the elbow, and then that hand reaches up. So it reaches up past 9 o'clock up to about 11, and our palm is up, while the other hand is pointed downward, kind of at our side with the palm down. And we're going to face the hand that is palm up. So our nose kind of in line with our fingertips. And then we kind of slowly come back to our ball, and that hand comes to the top that was extended up to the left. So that is the hand that's on top. The right hand is now on the bottom of the ball. So then we're going to kind of rotate at the elbow and then reach that hand up like we're holding a tray as we reach up, and we get to about 1 o'clock with that hand. So that hand is extended, the other hand is facing down, and we're pointing our noses in line with the fingertips, and then we slowly come back to our ball. And when we're doing this in practice, I'm kind of freezing as I describe it once we're extended, but we'll just, from the ball, I'll talk us through just going up normally now. So we're going to go up slowly, 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 fully extended, then start turning the hand downward, coming back down in front of us, back to the ball, and sitting pointed centered. And then immediately at this point, I start moving the right arm up to the side, up, up. I'm at 1 o'clock, and then slowly turning it back downward to where I'm coming back into the ball. So you kind of scoop up and then back down into the ball. So we'll do it another time on our left side. We're reaching up, we turn ourselves, or we're pointing toward that side, then we start coming back down to the ball, and we'll do one more on our right side. So the right hand is going to come up, left hand pointed down, and then we start turning back to the center as the hand comes back down into our ball. Okay. So from here, let's see, I'm trying to think how much time we have. Okay, there's one that I would like for us to do, but it's probably one of the more complicated. Once we get this one, this is the more complicated one. And this one is called Grasping the Peacock's Tail. So this will be one of our only 2 new ones today. And we're in our holding the ball position. So my right hand is on top and holding the ball position. My left hand is on the bottom. So I'm going to sweep both hands. So this left hand kind of comes outward. So I'm going to bend at the elbow to where my hand goes straight down and then comes up. So now it's palm down, right? And so the right hand comes palm up beside it, like almost like a how I think about hula dancers dancing. So my left hand is fully extended, palm down. Right hand is just kind of supporting it a little bit in going that direction. Fingertips pointed toward the left as well on both hands. And so then I sweep down, and then I cross my hands. So my palms are touching each other and they're crossed. Then from there, and we'll go through this a few times because this one has lots of steps. So once my hands are crossed, I extend them in front of me to the left corner. The back of my hands pointing toward the left corner. It's like fully extending them. Then from that point, I bring my hands in toward myself to where they're kind of back in that I surrender position that we did in one of the earlier ones. And then I push my palms toward that corner, the same corner, the left corner. And then I'm back to the ball with my left hand on top and my right hand on the bottom. And that's how we do it to one side on the left side. So then the next part, we sort of sweep up to the right. So we just sweep our right hand up into the 3 o'clock position, and our left hand is kind of elbow bent, fingertips pointing also toward the right side of the room. Then we come down in front of us, sweep both hands down in front of us, cross our hands. So our palms to like one hand on top of the other, crisscrossed. And then we point the back of our hands also shoulder height toward the right side of the room. And then we come back in to the kind of I surrender, hands at shoulder height, palms still kind of facing that corner though, but hands at our shoulders. Then we push both palms toward the right corner of the room. And then we come back to the ball and our right hand is on top. Now, do you all have questions? This one is that, and that's how we do it on each side. If there are any questions about that, please let me know, because I want us to really, I want everyone to feel good about that one. And that's one of, I think once we get that one.
What is this one called again?
Grasping the Peacock's Tail.
When you crisscross your hands, does it matter which hand is on top?
No, it really doesn't. As long as you've got your hands crisscrossed, like both palms are pointing the same direction. You just have them crisscrossed. I tend to have, when I'm going to the left, my right hand is on the inside, but I don't think that there's like a set way to do it. I would say it's important to kind of switch if you're going to one side and one hand is on top, that you switch it to the other when you're on the other side, just to make sure that you vary that movement and you're doing the same thing on each side. Basically, you're kind of mirroring it on the other side. But I hope because I can't see if you all are doing it how I'm describing it. I feel like I have to ask a lot of questions to you all to make sure that you feel like you understand it and that, you know, the height of everything makes sense. And I haven't skipped anything important in terms of how to explain how to do it. Do I feel okay with it, or do you want to go through it a couple more times?
Well, you might need to go over it a couple more times. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay.
A lot of a lot of times the name of the movement kind of goes with the movement, but I'm having a hard time figuring out where the peacock is.
I'm going to guess that our crisscrossed hands are the peacock's tail, but
Okay.
that's about the extent of how that one makes logical sense.
Yeah, okay.
But I agree that most of them kind of make some sort of sense, but that one, it's a really fun movement once you get it. This one was one of the hardest ones for me to get to when I was learning. Okay, so we're gonna start again in our ball with our right hand on top, our left hand is on the bottom. The bottom hand is the direction that you always start with. So I'm going to sweep from, having the ball to where my left hand is at shoulder height with my palm facing down, my right palm facing up, arm bent, both hands pointing toward the left side. Then I'm going to come down in front of me, cross my hands, they're both palm up, and then push both those palms toward the left corner of the room, the front corner. And then I come back into the little I surrender, hands toward the shoulders, and then push both palms back out to that corner. And then come back into the ball with the left hand on top, back into the center where I'm facing directly forward. So then as soon as I'm here, the right hand starts to move up and to where I'm palm down, fingertips pointing toward the right wall, left fingertips also pointing to the right wall, but that palm is turned up. Then I swoop down slowly. I'm at the bottom, cross my hands, push those into the right corner, come back, palms facing that corner at my shoulders, and then push forward. Again, push both palms toward that corner, and then turn back and hold my ball and come back to the center. So now my right hand is on top and my left hand is on the bottom. So we're where we first started. So I'll do it again where I'm sweeping my left hand and my right hand kind of upward. Left hand is at 3 o'clock, then at 3 o'clock, it's at 9 o'clock. Then swoop back down to the bottom, cross hands, push the backs of my hands toward the corner of that room, come in to my shoulders, then my palms are facing outward. So then I push both palms toward that corner and back to the ball. So my left hand is on top of the ball. So then we'll do it one more time where we're going to sweep our bottom hand up toward the right, both hands pointed toward the right, and then they come down slowly. Our hands cross, push the back of those hands toward the right corner, come back in, palms facing that corner at our shoulders, and then push to that corner, and then back to the center, back to holding our ball.
I totally don't get it.
Okay.
Am I the only one? Are the other two getting it?
It's going to take a few more repetitions for me too.
That one is tricky, and we'll keep working on it. We will keep working on that one. I will say that's the trickier one, and I did save it a few classes in to try to introduce that one. So,
Good.
yeah.
I was feeling good about this until this one.
Oh no, we'll keep working on it. That was the hardest one for me to grasp. Just because there are so many different turns and movements, but we'll keep working on that one.
I'm kind of starting to see the peacock. It's like you're pulling it towards you and then pushing it away.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, there are a lot of outward and inward movements with that, and it really feels really good once we get it, and once we're really flowing and not stopping to think about it. But that one's the last one that I was able to do without having to think all the way through it. But this is supposed to be about relaxing. So we don't want to stress out about any of these forms.
Yeah.
So I don't want any of this to feel stressful. We will get it and we'll keep working on it. But that one is a little tricky. And I'll also be thinking of other ways to explain it, because if I explain things the same way over and over, no new insights are going to come from it. So I'm also going to think of some different ways to go through it, and maybe that'll sort of feel different if I can think of other ways to explain it. So we'll do a couple more that we have done before, because I don't want us to end on one that was tricky. So another one we're going to do, we'll do spreading our wings. And so from here, we're going to start in prayer position, fingertips pointed up, hands close to our chest, elbows bent, prayer position. So we're going to straighten our elbows. Our hands are going to stay together, and our fingertips are going to point outward in front of us. So palms still together, arms extended, fingertips pointing directly in front of us. Then we're going to open our palms, open our hands, and slowly come into 3 and 9 o'clock to our sides, like we're about to give somebody a big hug. And you can leave them just straight at 3 and 9. I kind of go back a little bit because I like to get a little stretch between my shoulder blades. And then we come back slowly forward to where our palms come back together in front of us, and then bend our elbows, and our fingertips are up back into prayer position. So we'll slowly, fingers pointing out, slowly open them, palms facing in front of us when we get to 3 and 9 o'clock. And then slowly coming back together. Hands are together, and then slowly back into prayer position. So kind of slowly coming outward, fingertips pointed in front, opening our arms, slowly closing our arms, coming back, palms together, and then back into prayer position. So this one feels really good. And this one, the name of it makes sense. So I like this one. So I'm opening back up again. I'm fully extended here, coming back to the center, palms touching, elbows bending, back into prayer position. So, and then we'll do a couple more just to wind us down. Another one we'll do is playing with waves. So we're going to just sit and our palms facing straight in front of us with our elbows bent. And then we just slowly reach forward with our palms in front till our elbows are straight, like we're pushing a wave, think about ocean waves. And then slowly come back in, elbows bent, elbows kind of arms to our sides with our palms facing forward. So just think about the slow movement of ocean waves, and we're tracing them with our hands. So we fully extend, and we think about our breath too while we're doing this, and then slowly come back in, elbows bent to our sides. So straighten our arms, palms pushing forward, and then slowly back in, elbows bent to our sides. So we'll do one more of those. So that one's playing with waves. So it's a good thing to think about. So I'm coming back in, arms at our sides. And the next one we'll do is fly like wild goose. And this is like our commencing form in the beginning, except we do it at 3 and 9 o'clock. So hands on our laps to start with. And then we're going to raise our hands, raise our wrist first, fingertips kind of dangling, and then change our hand position, and our fingertips are the last thing to come down. So palms are facing the sides of the room and all the way down. So we're going to lift our wrist first, hands dangling, up to about 10 o'clock, I guess, is as far as I go. And then down. And we'll do one more. That wrist coming up. And then switch hand position, and then they come down, slow, all the way down. Okay. And then the last one is pressing palms. And this one is good because it kind of gets our breathing ready. It's one of the easier ones to focus on our breath. as we sort of think about doing a meditation after this. So this one, we have our palms facing upward, our fingertips just touching. And we breathe in as we bring them up to about chin level. And then flip our hands to where palms facing down, and we push the air out as we exhale all the way toward our lap. And then we switch it and our palms are coming up. And then we turn them down. And turn them and breathe in and come up. And down, push them down. We'll do one more. So coming up. And down. Okay. So that is all I had for us for our movement part of the class, and we can do our meditation. Did you all have any other questions about any of the ones that we did today? I know we'll work on the grasping peacock's tail. We'll do that some more, and I'll try to help come up with some different ways to think about that. Any other questions? Okay.
I think we could stop the recording now.